Everybody sing, hey, yeah. Here comes the danger up in this club. When we get started, now we ain't gonna stop. We gonna turn it out till it gets too hot. Everybody sing, hey, yeah. Tell 'em turn it up till they can't no more. Let's get this thing shaking like a disco ball. This is your last warning, a courtesy call.
What's up, y'all? Anime Rage here, and this is a bit different, you know. I've been working on an abundance of ideas and stuff, and yeah, this one seems like a pretty cool idea to do. What if Naruto had the black virus? So yeah, for those who haven't played the game Prototype, I mean, how did you not play the game Prototype? It's literally one of the coolest games that you could possibly play. But if you haven't played Prototype, you should go ahead and play it. Now, let me just stop rambling on and get into this. So we're in Konoha, right? Pretty much the strongest of all the villages at this point. So, you know, it was nighttime, you know. The moon hung in the sky, surrounded by stars and all the pretty colors at night. You know, it was pretty peaceful going around. You know, people just chilling, having fun, and you know, everything that is peaceful wasn't meant to last that long. So yeah, that night the Nine Tails attack happened. Pretty much destroyed everything, killing pretty much everybody. And it showed no discrimination between man or woman, the old, the sick. Even the children were not even spared at this. So while the village was sitting there just getting bodied by everyone, they were waiting for the Hokage show. Because, you know, it's the Hokage. But, you know, everything can't happen without a sacrifice and stuff, you know. And, you know, that would be Naruto, pretty much. So, same thing. The Shirogami Minato uses the Reaper Death Seal. And, yeah. And, the Shirogami was a bit more, what's the word? Wants to give Naruto a present before he is, like, just give him a little morning present and stuff. A gift, you should say, or a curse in his eyes. So we're gonna go to Alex Mercer. Alex Mercer knew this day would come. No, not exactly Alex Mercer. He died a week and a half ago. He was just a creation of Mercer. Could he have designed a gender? Was he even alive? He had no heartbeat. He didn't bleed. Bullets merely passed through him or bounced off of his form entirely. Not even the clothes on his back were real, just biomass molded and formed to resemble clothing. As, you know, he looked himself in the mirror on the helicopter's dashboard. Gray hoodie concealed a majority of his face. You know, he could see curly hair that he had under the hood. Even on the game, you could barely see any hood he had. You could barely see any hair he had on his head. So he looked away, back towards the helicopter he was in, where he had just consumed both his greatest enemies yet, the Supreme Hunter, the evolved form of the parasite that once plagued him. It once reformed itself as an intelligent cancer in a way. Then the leader of the Black Watch, General Peter Randall. He smirked in an odd sight for someone like him. Consuming someone granted him their memory, skills, everything that made them was stripped from their very soul. It was merely like if he was even possessed one, that his own soul needed to consume what remained of the human soul as well. Oh well, such thoughts would likely be its last. So Randall, in a last-ditch effort to kill the virus that nearly took over Manhattan, had obtained a thermonuclear device and had planned to detonate it to pretty much destroy the entire city, or pretty much the heart of the city at least. So everything would be annihilated, even Donna, his sister, or was she? The only thing, that he had tied down to his life, or he once thought though he had. She helped him so much. When the original Mercer committed the atrocity that would never be forgiven, he unleashed the Blacklight virus. For those who don't know what the Blacklight virus is, it's pretty much a bioweapon capable of just some pretty horrifying stuff. So a nuke might reduce a few mile radius of land to a unhospitable crater and spread radiation around for a few more miles. But a virus, it could spread. It could traverse entire continents with the advent of the worldwide air travel. A single infected host could potentially spread it to a majority populated center, and the bodies would pile up. The Blacklight virus was unique in that it was entirely impossible to create a vaccine for. Mercer had split the genetic code that offered the common code its immunity to every attempt to cure or vaccinate it into the Blacklight virus. With no vaccine or cure option available, the armed forces will be forced to pretty much kill anyone who has been in contact or any slight interaction with the virus. Obviously, some people would be opposed to that, but this sin would blossom into existence, eventually metamorphosizing into just outright violence and stuff. Pretty much a zombie apocalypse in a way, but like on more levels than the Purge could possibly ever get. The military were fighting a two-front war, killing any infected in an attempt to try to prevent any more spread of the virus. And then it would be the resistance effort. The soldiers would most likely break under duress of being forced to kill their own countrymen, and eventually society would just collapse entirely. Anarchy would reign and the virus would spread further still until nothing remained but corpses. But it was not meant to be. The virus was released on domesticated soil, and nearly anyone in Manhattan would die because of it. He was the virus. When Mercer had pretty much broke the vial containing the Blacklight virus in Penn State, I think, it entered his body through the bullet wounds in his chest. For those who haven't played the game, you probably don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but just stay with me. Stay with me. So pretty much Mercer's body was consumed entirely. Every cell, every tissue, even bones were broken down into pretty much biomass. But there was no more time of reminiscing about the past. He arrived. The plan was simplicity itself. Drop a nuke into the Atlantic Ocean a few miles off of the coast, then get the hell out of there and get back to Manhattan. And hopefully he'll get back to watch the fireworks. He gently pulled back the control stick until the helicopter came to a stop. He glanced down at the small lever with a blinking light above it saying cargo release. It was written underneath a rather annoying shade of bright red. He thumbed the lever and the nuke was dropped into the sea below. Trying to get the hell out of there, he thought. So he jerked the stick and the helicopter was immediately turned away from the nuke and he headed with full speed back towards Manhattan. He glanced at his watch. It was a digital watch he had from one of the dead soldiers back at the carrier. And it read 0036. He had 36 seconds before the total detonation. He could see the carrier on the horizon. 22 seconds. The Empire State Building was visible now. It was a spiral light blink red slicing through the dense fog. 12 seconds left. He knew he wasn't going to make it a safe distance. 5 seconds. He would die here. 4. He'd never get to see Donna again. 3. No, it didn't matter. She never accepted him for who he was. 2. He was a monster. 1. He deserves to die. All Mercer knew then was a bright light and unbearable heat and the strange sensation of feeling your entire body liquefy under the force of the sun. Manhattan, Battery Park. The mushroom cloud was visible to all of Manhattan. The fireball lit up the night, brighter than the sun, the moon, and all the other stars in the sky combined. A reporter snapped a photo of the cloud. It would make an excellent front cover picture. A mother and her children stared, awed at the light and the sound. The priest, looking from the cloud, uttered a fearful prayer for all the souls of Manhattan. Elsewhere, the helicopter had crash landed near Battery Park. Mercer was no more, just few bits and pieces of black and red biomass. A crow landed near a larger puddle. In another world, the crow would be consumed and Mercer would be reborn again. But not here. Death had other plans. This is where the Shikigami comes in. The Shikigami appeared above the crow. Its baleful yellow eyes stared at it. The crow didn't stand a chance. It dropped dead before it could attempt to make a meal out of the puddle. The Shikigami's hand made a contract with the puddle. It swiftly turned into a simple black and red orb, pretty much, to resemble a marble, with a strange red aura surrounding it. The Shikigami placed the orb in its vestments and made off to the shinobi world, Mercer in tow. So we're back in Konoha. Pretty much Kushina is trying to stop Minato from putting the nine tails inside of Naruto, but she couldn't. She was too weak from pregnancy, from getting it forcefully removed from her. She basically had little to no energy left. The Kyuubi was robbed of its yin chakra, and was made evident by its sudden decrease in size. The Sharingan, once dominating its eye, had vanished shortly after the Shikigami appeared. Fear was now evident in its crimson gaze. The Shikigami hand impaled Minato, then disposing the yin chakra in his body, and then rushed towards the Kyuubi. Minato slumped forward, having his soul ripped from his body. And the hand grasped the Kyuubi fully then. A seal appeared on Naruto's stomach, pretty much, and the dark red yang half of the chakra of the Kyuubi was now being put inside of Naruto, pretty much. But the fox, he's like, he wants to be free. It's his first time in a while tasting freedom, and he pretty much doesn't want this to end. So in a ditch effort to try to stop himself from being sealed into Naruto, they could see him raise his hand in the air, and his claw was extended towards Naruto, not to be sealed again. And Kushina, in a last-ditch effort, pretty much all the energy left she had in her body, slid forward in the path of the claw. Pain, agony, a spray of crimson decorated the grass, as well as Naruto. His eyes opened, and Kushina saw an intelligence and comprehensive look on her son's face as he looked at her. And Kushina really got sad at this moment because, she realized that when she wants to be a mom, she pretty much can't at this moment. As she felt herself growing weaker and weaker as her vision dimmer and dimmer and more. She was released from the claw, for it was no longer there. A QB was sealed inside of Naruto. Her last vision was the Shikigami lowering his hand to Naruto. A strange black and red orb was in his grasp. Before darkness overcame her, there was a piercing light. So, yeah. That's my series to what if Naruto had the Blacklight virus, pretty much. So, tell me what you guys think. Leave a like, comment down below. Subscribe if you want. I'm not forcing nobody. We've been doing pretty good as far as stuff, I've been having fun, making up stuff, ideas and stuff, and we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I'm out. Peace.